Hello, and welcome. This particular version of the Chocobo theme is from Chocobo Racing, apparently. Sid's test course, it says. I have never actually played Chocobo Racing, and the new Chocobo Racing is a sin, so I'm probably not going to play that one at any point. Maybe eventually I'll play the old one for fun, who knows? Anyways. Hello. Sucro's taking a nap. Over the course of Sucro taking a nap, the weather has changed to umbral wind, apparently. Which is maybe concerning. But hello, it was a bit of a slow start today. But now that I've made it through the first 5 rounds of combat, all of my stats are normal. So hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit of a stream. Hello. Fun fact. An idea I had for if I ever suddenly rebrand as a fire elemental was, I think, to make my greeting something like "Hello, Sparks and Embers" or something like that. I thought that was cute. Anyway. Sucro. Sucro, it's time to wake up. Oop. And so she did. Some of the minions you can get in this game are deployable cushions and the like, which you can use as props. I think there's also a picnic basket. A picnic basket. Anyway. Wait. I need to be right back again for 1 second. So just think about the umbral wind for a second. Okay, that was slightly more than 1 second, but here we are. We're finally ready. She's finally here performing for you. You know the words. I'm surprised because there aren't any established words for a Sucro rap, but there could be. I guess we're just gonna get right into it. Last time we did the Void Arc, which, is it currently somewhere? The Void Arc actually is visible in this map, flying around. I don't know where it is presently, but it must cover a fairly wide area. Looking for it. It must have a fairly long flight path if I can't see it from here. Probably not up, right? Okay. Well, we'll see if we can see it at some point. Sorry to make anyone motion sick or dizzy. Anyway, we did the Void Arc raid last time, and this time, there's 2 more raids in that series. It is now daytime. Maybe the Void Arc's directly underneath me or something. The Weeping City. Sucro, I was just about to fly out to Ishgard and track you down. You remember Kate Sith, that Maki familiar? We've been working with him on a plan to find Diabolos in the Queen's coffin. There have been void sightings from pirates all over, so we know that bat-winged bugger's hiding someplace in the sky, we just don't know exactly where. And as for going about pinpointing the location, Leofard and the feline are bickering over just exactly how. That's where you come in. If you've a spare moment or two, we could use a third opinion to break the stalemate. Besides all that, Leofard's eager to have another hand to help in the search. So come on over to the Parrock as soon as you're able. You know the way from here, don't you? Parrock, I guess, maybe? Tired of hearing those two arguing, and that's the God's honest truth. And hey, I don't think we got to really properly explore the Parrock. Red Bill Base. There's not a lot to see about here, but it is cool that you can like walk around and look at it a little bit. I guess the Parrock is the meeting room. When you're a sky pirate, a well-maintained airship can mean the difference between life and a horrible plummet in death. So aye, we keep a damn close eye on the condition of our vessels around here. Makes sense. Here to see the captain? Just go through the gate here and head north when you come out up top. His quarters are across the bridge. So you can just look at the landing, I guess. Oh, no, you can look around up here, too. When the crew's heads are filled with naught but loot and laughter, it's my job to see that their bellies are filled with decent grub. That Leofard's the worst of the lot. He'd live on gold bars and boot leather if I wasn't here to cook for him. Hell yeah. Make people eat food responsibly. Oh, they get so damn muddy. It's important to eat food responsibly. And not eat gold bars and boot leather? Probably also pretty important. Not recommended. Oh, they let you... Need to save my strength. Hauling treasure's hard work, you know. They let you wander around here more freely than I remember. You can find the hidden person in the back who's avoiding work, I guess. Oh, this is a solo instance, huh? Oops. Unfortunate. Thanks for coming. The captain and the cat are inside, still having their discussion. Talk to Leofard, will you, before I strangle the both of them? I'm a cat. I don't know if they know this. You can explore this area a little bit more too. Yeah, we've been playing together a bit. She's been helping out with various dungeons and raids and whatnot. Map. Various treasures, sword, bottle, gold. Do you think this stuff is just scattered about randomly or like placed very particularly? Probably placed pretty particularly, at least by the game designers. Sucro's a cat. That's correct. Like squabbling children, the pair of them. Hope Leofard settle this, would you? Ah, Sucro, a rational mind such as yours is most welcome. Pray reason with this wind-addled brigand. Yep. Mikote is what the cat people are called. There are two types of them. There's Seekers of the Sun and Keepers of the Moon, with slight differences between the two. Sucro is a sun cat, for whatever that's worth. Either way, she's a cat. Anyway. Alright, Leofard, what are you arguing with Kate Sith about? Nah, it's... The origin of the name Sucro, or Sucro Funk, is that there is a skill in Super Mario RPG with that name, and also the naming conventions for the Mikote are that they have like a letter and an apostrophe before their first name, which signifies like what tribe they're from. And the way you pronounce S apostrophe in this naming scheme is Su. So she is Sucro. But technically it is short for Scarecrow in the original context that I got the name from, that being Mario RPG. This is a game where you do stuff like you give your character a funny name that might technically fit, and then you get super attached to your character eventually, regardless of the funny name, and give them like a 15-page backstory and stuff like that. It's one of those situations. So, Sucro name started as a funny name, but now Sucro is like important, so. If you're here to ask about the Queen's coffin, then you best turn around and walk straight out again. This aggravating furballs turned my mood sour as month-old alt goat milk. Leofard, Sucro's come all this way to help us, at your request I might add. She deserves to hear where we stand on the search at least. The search has given me ulcers, is what it is. By all reports, Diabolos is lurking somewhere in the heavens, building up his forces. But the sky is a vast dome, as high as the ocean is deep, and we've not the pirates to scour every damn floating rock. That's when I tried my luck with Radlia. You remember her, don't you? Captain of the Talons, blonde hair, one eye, stole our bloody compass. Leofard, you gave her the compass. I mean, she demanded it in exchange for one of the crew members, but that's a little bit different from stealing. Well, I've been eavesdropping with that link pearl I slipped into the case and hoping to catch something useful. But all I've heard from her and her sorry crew is snoring, grumbling, and japes about the Archbishop's holy nethers. Great. In the end, it seems we've no choice but to do this the hard way, but a certain mule in annoyance refuses to acknowledge the truth of it. You cannot possibly hope to investigate the entire sky with this meager handful of ne'er-do-wells. I find my suggestion to seek aid from your fellow pirate gangs a perfectly reasonable one under the circumstances. Ah, stow it, you mangy alley cat. You not the faintest idea how sky pirates operate. Best case scenario, we'd be locked into a deal to hand over any treasure we find. And that's assuming we weren't laughed out of the room to begin with. You cannot assume that every man and woman shares your base morality. If we but made the attempt, I'm sure we could convince some few of the nobility of our cause. And so it goes, round and round. Knowing pirates as I do, I find myself siding with the captain on this. But what do you, Sucro? Any thoughts on the matter? I could try to get outside help. But that doesn't seem to be an option, so what do we think? Sucro doesn't know stuff about pirates. But I think we probably have enough people to manage this. See there, even Sucro agrees with me. We proceed as we have been and try to cover as much sky as possible. However we tackle things though, we have a long road ahead of us. I'll see if I can't think of up a better way to shorten it. You might as well head back to your adventures, Sucro, unless you're willing to lend us your experience in another matter, that is. Utata, our chief engineer, has been mumbling about the Void Ark and cursing under her breath for days. Might be as you can provide some insight into her dilemma. She's conducting her research in the Sea of Clouds, yes? Well, I should rather discuss the properties of the Void Ark than continue with this fruitless debate. I shall see you down there, Sucro. Apparently, I'm not doing much voice acting today, just a little bit. But that's fine. As I've learned recently, I need to take it easy with the voice acting for the sake of my voice. As long as the characters are at least slightly distinct, it's probably fine. Kate Sith has given me a little bit of practice speaking in a different sort of cadence as well, if you noticed. Going for a bit of a more Irish sort of speaking way. Or Scottish, or whatever. I think Irish? I'm forgetting which one of those Kate Sith actually is. I know that Scottish is what they did with the localization of a different Kate Sith. But I mix up the legends and the mythologies and whatnot. Scottish, right? I guess I was probably speaking with more of an Irish cadence. I don't know things. I shouldn't try and say that I know anything. Where am I going? Okay, I'm going the right way. There are a lot of similarities, but I don't want to claim anything. Oh. See, I don't know anything. While waiting for word on Diabolos, I've been spending my time learning to pilot the Red Bill's little airships. Thankfully, it seems I've mastered enough of the basics to manage this little jaunt. Kate Sith fly a plane? Mayhap I could make contact with some other pirates without Leofard's mediation. Ah, but let us first address Mr. Sutata's woes, shall we? Oh, it's both. Okay. By the way, here is Aya. Hello. Might as well invite you to the party now. Until it says there's a single player instance and makes me dissolve the party. Ah, it's both. Okay, gotcha. Hello. Cat. Is there a problem? What troubles you, Mr. Sutata? We were told that some matter regarding the Void Ark was causing you no small measure of grief. Oh. Mr. Sutata, what are you... I forgot about this. Sucro has no opinion on this matter. Ah, I feel so much better now. My apologies, Kate Sith. You had the misfortune to enter my field of view just as I felt the intense desire to squeeze something warm and furry. It's this damnable ectocompass. I made another one, you see, identical in all respects to the first compass that Radlia stole. But look, it points in a completely different direction to where the Void Ark should currently be. I don't understand what I did wrong. I used the same plans, the same parts. Is it tracking the coffin, and the coffin is no longer on the Void Ark, and therefore... I can imagine that'd be infuriating. And you're certain there are no flaws in the design of the materials? Positive. I've tweaked and adjusted and replaced every single piece, but it refuses to function as intended. I'm on the verge of tossing the blasted thing over the edge. What do you make of this, Sucro? What do I make of it? Slow zoom in? How zoom in does this zoom in go? When does it stop? How much are we going to zoom here? Like, specifically the background is zooming in. I think we've stopped zooming. I don't think it's broken. I think it's pointing at something else. Or the Void Ark is somewhere else. Yes, I'm inclined to agree. Judging by your previous work, it would seem unlikely that the compass itself is defective. We must consider other factors. Might you explain to us the principle by which the ectocompass tracks the Void Ark? Nod. It all comes down to etheric signature. I discovered that the Void Ark is encompassed by an energy of rather peculiar composition, so I simply tuned the compass to follow its unique trail. An energy of peculiar composition, you say? Of course, the Ark was propelled by the siphoned energies of Voidsent. Could it be that the compass was tracking not the vessel itself, but the ether of the entities imprisoned within? That would certainly explain why the compass now points in a different direction than one would expect. After all, Diablos and the Shadow Queen are no longer on board the Ark. Are you implying that if we plotted a course based on the readings from the ectocompass, we would arrive on the demon's doorstep, so to speak? Just so, Mistress Hutata. Assuming my theory is correct, we no longer require outside assistance to pursue our elusive quarry. Joyful jumping around. Phone call. Oh, Stacia, what perfect timing! You won't believe the wonderful discovery we've just... Talon airships have been spotted en route to our nest. If it's revenge they're looking for, we'd best head back and make ready for them. Well, that's bad. We made it, thank the gods. Oh. I think something is bad, or something bad happened to them. I don't like this, Sucro. Why have the Talons come here without their captain? Where's Radleia? It would appear that these pirates have come with... It would not appear that these pirates have come with murder and pillage in mind. Quite the opposite, in fact. They seem rather bedraggled and beaten. I'm glad you're here, Sucro, but I don't think they're spoiling for a fight. It would seem so. Truce, Redbill. We need your help to save Captain Radleia. You're one of Radleia's favorites. You threatened my crew, steal our compass, and now you've come crawling to me for help? What kind of unholy mess have you cretins stumbled into? Aye, we took your damn compass, but it didn't show us to the ghost ship. We ended up at some moldy old ruins, lousy with void scent. Before we knew it, some sort of spider demon was knocking our ships out of the sky. The two of us managed to pull away, but we saw what happened to them as got caught on the ground. If the captain survived the massacre, she's stuck there with no wings to fly out again. Why don't you give that link pearl a listen, Captain? Might be as we can learn if Radleia is alive or dead, at least. Nod. Ugh, so much buzzing. Can't hear a blasted... Wait, I'm getting some words. They're after Maki artifact. Damn demons are searching. Hide! And a bunch of screaming. Seems Radleia's still kicking for now, but who knows for how long. If those screams were an act, then consider me fooled. I don't think the Talons are laying a trap here. Grin. I've half a mind to leave Radleia to her fate, but I never turn my back on an adventure. Especially when the scent of treasure is in the air, eh? Now tell me where you found these ruins. You'll help us then? You're a good man, Red Bill. We left the captain in the Yaphiam Saltmoor, just northwest of Mordona. In Yaphiam, you say? You must speak of the ruined shell of Mach itself. By Shatato's black heart, could they be after the Null Stone? Shatato? Shatoto? What's that, puss? You think you know what those fiends are after? Right, Utata, see that these talons are patched up. And then have the ray mill ready to fly. And don't spare the oil, you know I love to hear her purr. Shatato and Shantoto are different characters, probably. Shantoto was from 11. Shatato, or Shatoto here, is just an allusion to FF11, I think. Sucro, Stacia, bring the furball to my quarters, and we'll have ourselves a chat about our pending trip to Old Mach. Grin. Okay, there's a little bit more talking than I expected, actually, but we're getting there. There's a lot of talking in this game, you might know this. Oh, I can't have a minion summoned in this area, I've just noticed. There's gonna be a lot more talking than that when I get to the Evilise raids. Don't you worry if you like talking. If you like listening to me read dialogue. Well, thank you, first of all. But also, there's gonna be a lot of it in the Evilise. I never imagined Diabolos would seek to enter the old city. But I should have suspected as much when I learned that the floodwaters had receded and left Yaphiam exposed. You know, we've never been friendly with the Talons, but that doesn't mean we can just sit back and let them be torn to shreds by Cacklin Voidsent. Right, Furball. Let's hear about this artifact that Diabolos is looking for. Nod. If I am to speak of the Nullstone, then I must first explain the method by which Maki sorcerers would bind the Voidsent into service. The more powerful the Voidsent, the more difficult it is to manifest its presence in this world. Their own immense strength weighs them down like an anchor, you see, preventing them from breaking the surface of our dimension. And that is why they cooperate with mortal sorcerers. A mage can provide a suitable vessel for the summoning, or rip a large enough hole in the fabric of reality for the entity itself to step through. And let me guess, the mage forces the Voidsent to agree to a pact in return for the invitation into our world? Nod. That is correct. But it would be foolhardy to expect such devious and malevolent creatures to abide by the spirit of even the most carefully worded contract. Thus did the Maki Magi construct an occult device that would more securely bind the Voidsent to their will, a safeguard of sorts that led to the best of my knowledge yet lies entombed within the remnants of the ancient city. The Nullstone was seen as a last resort. Should a Voidsent break its pact and turn on its summoner, the mage could use the relic to disperse the very essence of even the most potent entity, obliterating it completely. I can't see the Royals of the Void taking too kindly to a threat like that. Seems those sorcerers were just as ruthless as the monsters they summoned. When it came to the Gloria Mach, the ends justified the means. In any event, we can be certain that Diabolos seeks to secure the Nullstone before it falls into mortal hands, and thereby ensure that Skaha will reign unopposed. Alright, so we know what the fiends are after. But what I don't understand is why such a valuable relic was left behind when the mages knew a colossal flood was on the way. Final Fantasy XIV, if you're not familiar with it, really likes referencing all of the other Final Fantasies. So that's probably part of why Viera are here, also because they were they're just popular. People wanted Viera, I think. Also, they do have raids pertaining to Evilise, though it might not literally be that setting of Ivalice. It might just be like there's also an Ivalice in 14. I don't actually know. And Fran from 12, or at least the 14 version of Fran from 12, was part of that raid series, I think. Again, that's a part of the game I have not actually done myself, so when we get there, that'll be new for me, mostly, I think. I might have done one part of it. But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff from all across the series in this game. There's like straight up a bunch of bosses from other ones that we'll run into eventually, etc. We'll get there. We'll get to a lot of different stuff. There's a lot of the game. All things considered, I'm barely anywhere. Its value was the very reason they chose not to risk its relocation. The Nullstone is kept within a structure constructed for the purpose, secured behind powerful wards and protected by deadly guardians. And with the rising of the waters, they reasoned that the artifact would be sunk along with the city, far beyond the reach of the vengeful Voidsent. But now that Yafayim is more swamp than sea, the demons only have the wards and the guardians to deal with. And I doubt they'd be wasting their time down there in the mud if they didn't have some trick to break through the wards. Aye, this has become a race to see who can nab the treasure first, which is just the sort of contest a sky pirate lives for. Actually, one other thing, speaking of Ivalice, that's kind of funny actually. The Ivalice raid series is the next 24-person raid series in the game. Like, it's an expansion, it's an entire expansion from now, but it is the next one of those. And it's funny actually because in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2, Sky Pirates from 12 show up. Van and Panello, I think. So, in a way, there's a Sky Pirate raid and then a raid that's adjacent to Sky Pirates, kinda. And then Nier is there, I guess. Surprise, Welcome to Nier Automata is the one after Ivalice, which is... I've already done one part of that on stream in ancient times, but I will be covering that again as part of Sukra's journey. Yeah. I will warn everyone in advance that I'm not really a fan of Nier. I have not actually played it, but there are a lot of things about it that I personally dislike, but I'll try and view it fairly when I get there. Anyway. Sky Pirates, treasure. So we slip into the ruins, pinch the relic, then rescue Radlia right from under the fiend's noses. Well, I suppose we could save her while we're poking around for loot. Shrug. I'll grab the new compass for Mutata so we know where we're going. Check your weapons, pack your small clothes, and meet me out on the landing when you're ready to fly. My main issue with Nier is like some of the character designs and what some of the crossover, let's be generous and call it armor or fashion or something, what some of that has done to 14, which is that everybody wears a specific gear piece. By everybody, I mean too many people. And I'm just gonna stop going off on that tangent for right now. So all we need to do is rescue Captain Radlia from a mob of nasty Voidsent, then retrieve a dangerous artifact from the magically defended ruins of an ancient civilization. Easy, eh? It couldn't be that bad. I shall join you in this endeavor to recover the Nullstone. Though after 1500 years, I wonder what remains of the city I once knew. I wonder how soloable this series of raids is, by the way. There's probably mechanics that require like 3 people at least. We'll fly directly to Yafayim from here. Once we arrive, you forge ahead with your band of adventurers as you did on the Ark, Sucro. Just keep slicing into the depths until you reach that Nullstone. We don't want to risk getting knocked out of the sky like the Talons, so we'd best land a little ways out from the ruins and head in on foot. Okay. They all literally require 3 people? Fair enough. The Furball says he knows the place well enough to guide you, so me and the Red Bills will follow behind on rescue duty. You concentrate on smashing the path through to the artifact. We'll check the nooks and crannies for Radlia and her crew. Don't let your guard down once you reach the ruins, though, eh? There's likely golems and such in there that are worse than the fiends outside. And we wouldn't want our hero losing her head now, would we? Skyward Sword? Yeah, sure. Alright then. So I guess we're finally getting to the raid part. I have my notes on boss mechanics. One boss has like 7 bullet points. One boss has a single bullet point, and one boss has 3. Again, I will be risking playing as healer for this. So that's gonna be interesting, potentially. And now we are in line. Ah, I see you are a red mage today. That's totally fair, yeah. I mean, this game's story is really, really good. You can play a lot of this game single player, but it does still play like an MMO and have a lot of multiplayer aspects and whatnot. I play MMOs as solo as I possibly can as well. But for stuff like this, you have to group up a little bit. But then again, this is also an optional questline, so you could theoretically ignore this. They are working on adding the ability to play solo in a bunch of different stuff. Like they have this duty support system, which allows you to do the various dungeons with a bunch of NPCs, but they don't have that for every dungeon up to the point where it became standard yet. So currently there's a few things in the Heavensward expansion that do not have that. And then there's the entire Stormblood expansion, everything in between Heavensward and Stormblood also, and then everything in between Stormblood and Shadowbringers. And Shadowbringers is when they started having the trust system, which just has NPC dungeons by default. So, up to a certain point, and then past a certain point, you can currently play through the entire main storyline of this game by yourself. But with a lot of stuff like the 24-person raid content, which we are in line for currently, there is no way to do that. And apparently you literally cannot solo it. There's also a feature, I guess, if you are way above the level you need to be for something. Corgi time. If you are very high level, you can enter any dungeon or whatever like unsynced, because the levels are like designed for, or the dungeons are designed for you being a certain level. But you can choose to ignore that, and in exchange for getting like no rewards, you still get all the treasure and stuff from the dungeon for like fashion if you want, but also you can just blast through everything with stats that are way above what they should be. The standard way to do dungeons and stuff is synced so that it adjusts your stats to be... Oh, hey, there's the Void Ark flying around. I was looking for that earlier. Corgis, please. The Corgis are barking because they sense the demons of the abyss over there. Whoever's left on the Void Ark, anyway. By the way, nice red mage costume. I forgot about your red mage outfit. Or if this is the one you had before. I like the high collar. It works surprisingly well with the hair. Surprisingly well because like the hair obviously clips into it, but it works out anyway. with both of us standing here with our arms folded. It's like we're doing some sort of cool pose or something. Oh, I did recommend that jacket? Good job, me. I completely forgot. Good job, me. Sucro is very good. This is Sucro's Heavensward era outfit. The hair is more recent. She didn't have this at the start. But what I've been doing with Sucro is changing her outfit every expansion. We're only in the first expansion, so she's only had 2 outfits. Except for when I did the joke, the goofy comedy questline, I had an outfit specifically for that recently. But yeah, you cannot look at glamour plates here, so I can't really show the other Sucro outfits. But once I get to Stormblood, she'll have another one, which I'm not finalized yet. Then Shadowbringers and Endwalker will probably also have an outfit. I've been all sorts of job classes too, so that part's not consistent, but yeah. Making fashion in this game is really fun. I mean, I could just teleport somewhere and then look at the outfits, but then I might end up doing this quest in the wrong one. Though I can just look at the plates. Why not? This was Sucro in A Realm Reborn, the first part of the game. And there's the line. So yeah. I at least got to show it. You don't actually have to change in the outfit to show it, so. Sucro's great. Her catchphrase is saying that she's a cat. This is sort of by accident, and it was not intentional. Oh no, one of the tanks might be asleep this time. So yeah, if you're not familiar with this game, one genre of content in it is like raids for 24 people, 3 teams of 8. So this is the larger raids. There's also smaller raids, which I think are just 8-person. Dungeons are usually 4 people. Trials can be 4 or 8, etc. But this is like big group content. Bubble. I am playing as a healer, which is dangerous. Yep, that's also true. Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 was a mess of a game. Okay, put Cardia on the tank first. Cardion, actually, technically. One of the most infamous parts of Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 was the flower pot that was as many polygons as a player character, and they were just sort of scattered throughout. So, that really slowed down the game a lot. My dear Yiphiam, what a wretched morass it has become. But yeah, it's a really good game now, I would say. I need to make sure I watch people's hit points. In raids, there are 2 healers per party now. I think the party was a little bit less standardized for a bit, like in the earlier raids. I think there were always 2 healers, but I'm not entirely sure. But in this case, there are 2 healers per party, so I don't have to heal the entire 8-person group I'm in by myself. Realm Reborn was 2.0. So that's when the game started being quote-unquote good. It was reborn from the 1.0. Prior to that, I think it was just Final Fantasy XIV. But yeah, A Realm Reborn is 2.0, Heavensward is 3.0, Stormblood is 4.0, Shadowbringers is 5.0, and Endwalker is 6.0. We are currently in Heavensward content. So we have a ways to go. But I played the game a little bit during the 1.0 era, and I liked it, but I barely got anywhere, and I definitely didn't get into any in-game stuff. I got to like, I don't know, probably like level 14 or something, and I don't still have a character from that time. Pink Rain? No. I have a variety of healing moves. You might notice there are a lot of buttons in this game. This Rain is my AoE damage attack. Healers are expected to also deal damage. They are not only healing in this one. If you are a healer and you are not also trying to do as much damage as you can, then you are not playing the game as it is intended to be played. And a lot of people probably get mad at you, but that's besides the point. So the gimmick of the particular healer that I am right now, Sage, is partly that they can heal by doing damage. If they tag somebody with a specific ability, every time they do damage, that person will get healed a little bit. But also there's a number of other abilities, and like, most of the buttons on my bar are healing or support in some way or another. But yeah, there's not like a singular heal. Also, I've been forgetting to apply my damage over time ability at the same time. I don't remember exactly what you're supposed to do during this part. Yep. Usually in Final Fantasy, the Sage is a class that can do both white and black magic, but they use the name for something quite different in this one. A lot of the stuff in this game, like they're adapting classic Final Fantasy classes to what they need them to do in an MMO sense. Sage might be one of the ones that's most different from the original class it's based on, but there's also a few classes that are completely original to this game, like Reaper. And Dark Knight in this game is a tank, which is not exactly what you might expect from Final Fantasy. And in 11 they were a DPS, so that's different there too. Yeah, that's usually what Dark Knight does, but in this one they're one of the tank classes along with Paladin and Warrior and Gunbreaker. Gunbreaker is sort of like Squall Final Fantasy VIII, but also like not exactly. Well, they're very like Squall Final Fantasy VIII actually, but adapted into the tank role. Wait, where are you? There you are. Right, you stand on the webs for this part. Gotcha. Whoop. I don't know why I took so much damage there. Either this raid still has challenge to it, when people are like levels synced down, or we have a party that is relatively low item level, because that boss was still like meaningful. So that is something to think about. Maybe I should have a cookie and barely increase my stats, because I don't have any like on level food buffs. I just happen to have random food around. I think I'm doing okay so far. Our other healer is a white mage, by the way. The other healers in the game are Scholar, White Mage, and Astrologian, which is sort of original to this game, I would say. There have been like various astrologer type classes, but not really a healer one. One difference between all the healers in this game is there are like barrier healers and like healing healers, I guess. Sage and Scholar are the ones that are focused on like barriers and shields, sort of preventing damage in addition to healing a little bit. Whereas White Mage and Astrologian are both more about healing damage that has been dealt. So that's an interesting bit of mechanics. As for the DPS classes, they are divided into physical range DPS, physical melee DPS, and magical range DPS. There is no magical melee as of this time. Red Mage is the closest you're gonna get to that, probably. And one summoner button. But yeah, there's a lot of different Final Fantasy classes and stuff in this game. And they all... And some original ones, like I said, but they all work pretty well, I would say. I'm really curious as to what classes they're gonna put in 7.0 whenever we get to that. Because they're kind of running out of stuff. Part of why they actually said in the lead up to 6.0 that they were kind of running out of other Final Fantasy classes and they needed to... Ah, some of you survived. How convenient. I am eating of fresh souls to shatter the ward. I didn't read any of the spiders, darling. Even empty husks have their uses. See how they jerk and dance at my command. Zombie time. But, yeah, there's no magic melee right now, but Red Mage is like, they dash in and out of melee. They do a bunch of like magic combos and then dash in and do a melee combo and backflip away, essentially. But, yeah, one thing they said in the lead up to 6.0 is that they were starting to run out of like Final Fantasy classes, so they had to start making original ones, and that's why Reaper existed. Which is interesting that they say that, because there's obviously a lot of classes in Final Fantasy, but it makes me really wonder what they're going to do next. That's also true. They could do something like that. I'm guessing I don't want to be standing in that. A big reference to Tactics Ogre in the game, actually, very specifically. You can fight the Necromancer guy from Tactics Ogre at the bottom of one of the optional dungeons. I always forget his name, like Nibeth or something like that. Yeah, that one. Wait, do I want to stand in these right now? Yeah, he's using Mega Death. Gotcha. I do want to be in this. Uh-oh. Wait, I died anyway? That's not good. Both of our healers are dead in this alliance. There is kind of there's a sort of a reference adjacent to Deneb, because if you get to the very bottom of the Palace of the Dead where Nybeth is, you can collect the glass pumpkin or the fire seal. It's random. Nybeth is on floor 100, and 100 to 200 of that dungeon are optional, like super difficult stuff. There's also a lot of Tactics Ogre specific armor and stuff around. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened in this boss fight, by the way, because I think you're supposed to stand in those green pools to be zombified so that you survive the Mega Death attack. However, I did that and I died anyway? Did I do it wrong? I don't remember. Weird video game. Oh yeah, Palace of the Dead itself is also a Tactics Ogre thing. That's correct. I forgot about that. Wait, why did that get interrupted? Oh, someone else must have done it. Oh. Wait, that was Mega Death again. Yeah, this is going in a strange way. Oh, was that healer 3? Someone else did that? I think. Whoop. Ah! Wait, that was Mega Death again. I'm so confused. I didn't even realize. I'm just losing my brain. I think I got that res off, though. Someone in the raid chat is saying that Mega Death is better than Metallica. We won though. Well, that was chaotic. And I thought the next boss was going to be the problem time boss type zone. Someone said first try. I mean, technically. Ah, the wonders of Maki architecture. 15 centuries and a flood later, and it still stands. Well. Someone said, IDK about a G, but it was a J. J, everyone. I'm glad we're having a good time with whatever just happened, at least. Wait till we get to the next boss where I have 7 bullet points of notes I'm not going to remember in the middle of the fight. Because it's been many years. This is not the next boss over here. Oh hey, it keeps Cardia/Cardion on the tank, even though I died, so that's good. Oh wait, yeah. Over here. I wasn't sure if Alliance A was supposed to stay in the center because A, or if Alliance A was supposed to be on the left because A. And here we stand in the glowy ring, think, right? No? No, we don't. I guess we go over here. Or maybe not. Well, seems like we go in the ring. I keep forgetting about my regen again. I'm not super confident in my healing, but I think I'm doing okay, and really the only way to get better would be to practice, I guess, so I shouldn't give up, at the very least. Barring our way is a terrible sphere that has devoured entire cities. We must prove the stronger if we are to reach the Nullstone. Hey, anyone know about terrible spheres in Final Fantasy? That's right, it's Ozma from Final Fantasy IX, the bonus boss. And this boss is possibly notorious for killing everybody all the time. So let's see. I'm not gonna remember all of the mechanics. Oh, I need to be over there. Okay. Well, we've already got someone who's done the mechanic incorrectly, so that's good. I mean, there's no way to know that you're doing all the mechanics incorrectly if you don't know all of it. If you haven't read that one in advance. For that one... Uh-oh, the healer disappeared. The other one. That's not good for me. For that particular mechanic, what you're expected to do is... But yeah, for the triangle, you're not supposed to be on the long pieces. For, yeah. For when you're being targeted, you're apparently supposed to let go to the ring and spread those targets out. Now we're here. I'm going to hardcast this res. Oh no, the other res didn't work. I'll have to hardcast this res too. There we go. Yeah, this is This is an exceptionally chaotic run of this dungeon. Ow. So that still hurts me, then. Oh god, stack mechanic. Cube, what is cube? I forget the cube. Stand right next to cube, and then back up. Is what it says. Okay. Oh, the healer returned at some point also. Oh, you have to press a button to accept a res in this game as well. I need to be over here. No. What do you mean Doomsday Impact in 10? Okay, all things considered, that could have gone far worse. That actually was good. I'm relatively pleased with how I did in that fight. I'm gonna roll need on the healing gear. Just a little bit of Andros there for sure. Someone said, I don't think I've ever seen Ozma go smoother than Fogal, but, you know, I'm not questioning it, and I think I agree with them. Anyway, Califisteri, also a Final Fantasy boss, this time from 5, is also here. Oh, there was one of my notes for Ozma was Isuna the Bleeding, and I don't think I ever did that. Though I don't know if anyone ever got hit with the DOT. For Califisteri, I also have that as a note. Know your slayer, intruders. I am Califisteri, and... yeah, I missed that one. Behold my magnificent mane! These curls are blades that cut and loose the grain! Haircut. I think that means you're gonna do one on the other side next, or am I thinking of something else? I guess I'm thinking of something else. Shall I share my luscious locks with you? No thanks. Oh. I think I messed up. Or maybe that's not something I can choose to avoid. I think something that, like, a really good sage will do. Unkept thieves, slovenly marauders, you will not have the nullstone. Oh, jeez. Not again. I think something really good sages do is swap around who has the Cardia on. Cardia being the sage passive that... Oh, jeez. I'm guessing I'm gonna run away for this. Oh, maybe not. Have you ever witnessed such coiled perfection? The edges of my tresses are sharper than swords. Etc. Hey, you can't just call that attack dancing, man. Why do you not stand? I have something to void. What ungodly power swims in your veins? What was I talking about? Anyway, yeah, a good sage apparently swaps around the target of the Cardia. Okay, I need to stand next to these because they do a donut attack. Yep. Stand away from those. Oops. I did not. Someone has not accepted the resurrection I've given. As of right now. Speaking of that. Oh, they died again. Whoops. Ow. Nah. Yeesh. That whole raid was kind of rough. But like, that makes it kind of interesting in a way, I guess. Orb. Joy! Is that the nullstone? Looks like orb to me. Guess it probably is because Caliphysteria mentioned it. Pass on that, need on that. Need on that. Need on that. I guess I'll roll. Yeah. Greed. 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 I got gloves of casting. Ah, what was that? I actually missed whatever that. Okay, it's a woo. A woo! Okay. Yeesh. Oh, I need to commend somebody. I'm gonna... Well, the only other person who's left that I can commend legally is the healer. So congratulations to the healer. Yeah, wild times in Mach today. I did my best. I believe I did get some of the healing gear so I can look at it. It's okay, I guess. I think I got the hat also. Funny hat. But yeah, not the best because I already have better stuff, and also it's not my style, but I got 2 commendations, I'll take it. Orb. The only way to get better at healing is to practice. So this is the heart of the ruins, eh? The problem with practicing is that there's a level cap, and I don't want to waste experience from the main story. You've done a fine job dismantling the defenses, Sucro. I only wish we could say that we had the same success, but Radley and her talons were nowhere to be found. Yes, it is quite distressing, but we must focus on claiming the prize at hand. The Nullstone is ours. Orb. I feel like this orb has been like 7 different sizes. It just shrank, so that makes sense actually. This looks like a materia also. Wahahaha! You have left me such an inviting trail of destruction to follow. This is probably Diabolos. No, it's not. It's that fucker. Well, 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 if it isn't the adventurer I have so longed to dismember, praise Lord Diabolos for this opportunity. I shall gift him your head in gratitude. Ah, and speaking of gifts, I brought a present to celebrate our gleeful reunion. Oh, well, there's Radlia. Ugh. This is the lovely lass you've been oh so desperately seeking, isn't it? Unless you wish to see her rent limb from limb, then you will hand over the Nullstone. I bet Void Scent with... I bet if you have horns like that, your neck is built to handle it, typically speaking. I would have to guess, at least. Alright, time to do a funny prank on this demon. Or just hand over the Nullstone, either or. Probably funny prank. Guns are funny pranks, too. You think I care about her worthless limbs? That woman's done naught but cause us grief. And I just thought to crow over her grave. Bluff. Bluff check. Don't give me that look, Radlia. What, you thought I was here to save your sorry hide? You've never been aught but an obstacle to me. Do you remember the first time we met? You were roaring with laughter at the sight of all the Maligan relics until I used your pretty blonde head as a stepping stone. Damn you, you selfish bastard, and damn me for expecting you to act any different. If I had my weapons, I'd blow a bloody hole in your belly. Have you forgotten how awful a shot you are? Not much of a threat when I've seen you miss the side of a cathedral at 10 yalms. Silence, you grinning fool! You've ruined my moment, and now I'll ruin your smirking face! Now, puss! What? Ah, it burns! No, not into the pit! I forgot about that. This world is not your stage, unholy Harlequin. Be gone from our realm! Eat shit! Destroyed! Ah, a clever farce, mortals, but the show is not over. Not until you scream. Screaming. It's the Shadow Realm for you, Jimbo? Oh dear. The bugger got away. I think we'd best do the same. Bat. Oh, cool. I have all of my various resources now that I'm back here. The Lady Pirate is saved, and the Nullstone is ours. That all went rather well, did it not? Well, did you see the dungeon run, though? I guess you probably didn't. Oops, I should have talked to everyone else, but talked to the second closest person, so we're skipping some dialogue over here, I guess. Can't be helped. Now that was some excitement, wasn't it, Sucro? Probably a little too much for Radlia, but we gave her a bed to sleep off the worst of her ordeal. She'll likely be back to her usual cheerful self in no time. Quite a successful jaunt, all told. You and me, we make a pretty good partnership. Nod. Fold arms. But I've got words for you, Furball. You said that relic would obliterate a Voidsent completely. Seems to me that foppish fiend just got scorched before he slipped away. Oh, that was scarcely a fraction of the Nullstone's true power. Once I've learned how to unleash its full potential, such demons shall be consumed like gnats caught in a bonfire. So you're telling me our secret weapon ain't ready for battle? You might as well be wielding a blunted sword. Might I remind you that this blunted sword stung our foe sufficiently to free the Lady Pirate? A result we could not have achieved with your blustering words alone. Ah, I was ready to flee without Radlia if things took a turn for the worse. But you're right, you had the presence of mind to take advantage of my bluff, and it was your actions that saved her in the end. Smile, but shrug. Did the captain receive a blow to the head while we were in Mach? I could have sworn he just paid me a compliment. Hi, it all worked out in the end, but I've had just about enough of Leofard's folly. I must have said that 100 times by now. Anyone else have anything to say? Same thing. Might as well just keep on talking to Leofard then. Freedom for our skies! We might be waiting a while before Radlia finally decides to wake up. But not so long that you've got time to flit away on some other adventure. Come join me in my quarters and we can ask her a few questions as soon as she's ready to talk. Radlia was moaning the entire trip back to the Perak. Can't have been a pleasant experience being dragged around by that nasty fiend. Anyway, let's go haunt the captain's quarters until she regains her senses. Understood. And actually, this seems like a good time to be right back. am back. Yeah, that was just a brief BRB. It's important to take little breaks now and then. A thought I had while I was away is that if you wanted to have an evil doppelganger of Sucro, you could just flip the S around and you'd get Tucro, the evil Sucro. So that's something. Anyway, let's continue. Someone has probably had this thought before. It might have even been me. Alright, Leofard. Oh there, Sucro. Might as well make yourself comfortable while we wait on Radlia. Radlia is such an interesting name. I keep wanting to read this as Radila, or like Radilla, but it's Radlia instead. Yep, the orb battle has already occurred. You missed quite a run of that dungeon. It was very chaotic. A lot of chaos occurred. But yeah. It could also be... I guess it could also flip to a Z. Actually, that's a good question. How do you pronounce a Z apostrophe? I forget. Mikote names. Tell me, internet. Ah, you say that. You would say that as Zocro. Evidently. There's a way to pronounce all of these. A, B, K, D, E, F. Gu, Ha. E. Or I? E? E, yeah. E is E and I is E. So that's normal. Ja, Ku, Li, Me. O, Pe. Ki. Ra, Su, Ta. U. Va, Wa. Shi. Ya. And then Zo. Z would be Zo, so it'd be Zocro. Incidentally, if you were to name Mikote X apostrophe Zone, which was another idea I had at one point, because of X Zone from the original translation or localization of 6, that would be Shizone, probably. Somewhere out there, there's an alternate universe where instead of Sucro, we had Shizone. Oh no, Sasuke. That's pretty fun. Also, you could in fact have a cat named W apostrophe Luigi and be Waluigi, just so you know. Which is marginally better than my idea of Waluiswa Evilur, which I had once. Anyway. Might as well make yourself comfortable while we wait on Radlia. Besides, after fighting through them ruins, I wager you could use the rest. True, it was a chaotic fight. Through the ruins. Ah, Sasuke. I see. Yeah, I think I used to think Sasuke was pronounced Sasuke. So, you know. Hey there. How are you feeling after all of that chaos? Where is the rest of my crew? Surely there were other survivors. Most of them got zombified. Yeah, like that. You could do that. Unfortunately, most of your crew got destroyed. Tell me, Radlia, what drove you to risk exploring Old Mach? The compass sent you there, aye, but you were after the Void Ark. You knew something, didn't you? I found a book. We were looting these strange ruins in the Sea of Clouds, and one of the lads dug up a tome. It had passages that described the Void Ark and a powerful relic called the Nullstone. A tome scribed by a Maki sorcerer, mayhap. Captain, would you happen to know the author of this work? The words are muddled by obscuring magics, and 1,500 years have faded its pages. There's much that remains illegible. What little my darling cutthroats and I could decipher suggests it was written by a mage of exceptional status. Oh, you have the book. See for yourself. If what the book says is true, the Ark is a source of immeasurable power. With that ship under my command and the mysteries of Mach in my possession, I thought to crown myself Queen of the Skies. And look how well that turned out. What manner of sky pirate, what manner of queen can't even keep her own crew alive? Ahem. Radlia, is it not? Would I be correct in assuming that you seek revenge against the Void Sent who slaughtered your comrades? Probably yes. Of course I want revenge. That hellspawn shite gobbler killed my crew. If he were here right now, I'd gouge out his eyes and choke him to death with my bare bloody hands. You're not alone in your desire to bring an end to these abominations, Captain. Will you not join us in our endeavor to secure peace for the skies? Will you not join the Talon's strength to ours? Yeah. She's a City of Heroes mastermind. And anyone who's played City of Heroes may or may not know how a minuless mastermind works out. It's badly. Anyway, what's strength? The way things are right now, I doubt I could keep the peace in a monastery. That's a good line. This is not to do with personal grudges either. I just don't have the men. All my best fighters died in the ruins, and the dregs that are left are scarce sharp enough to be called talons. Did you leave your spine back in them ruins, Radlia? You've had your wings clipped and no mistake, but that's no reason to give up the life. I thought we'd rescued a sky pirate, not some cur that turns tail when her pack ain't there to bite for her. Harsh. Don't be mean, jerk. I know what you're trying to do, Red Bill, but I lost my taste for glory. You can have the cursed book. Just be sure to make that bastard pay. I never know when to say cursed or cursed, or blessed or blessed. So I just improvise. Hey, Furball, how quickly do you think you can decipher that ratty old tome? I think you need to figure out exactly how your relic works. Hi, you sent that one fiend squealing in fear, but that ain't enough. From what you told me, we'll need to aim for some of that obliteration if we're gonna take on the Shadow Queen. Nod. The rest of you, put everything you got into what you do best, be that research or blade work. Overdoing it is doing it just right, if you get my meaning. Nod. 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 There's a lot of nodding in this game. I'll decorate my walls with void-sent heads if I have to. The skies should belong to no one. Meaningful pan upwards to elf lady. Imagine being so steampunk that even a picture frame in your office is full of gears. That. But it wasn't a bat. It was Diabolos. It was a bat lobster? No, just Diabolos. Ah, Golden Sun. That's a video game. The Nullstone hath fallen into mortal hands. 1,000 apologies, Lord Diabolos. I shall personally wring each and every one of their scrawny necks. You tried to, already. It was Miotismon? Well, yeah, pretty much. The time for skulking in shadows hath ended. I am grown weary of these meddling vermin. Grr! The power of the Shadow Queen waxeth full. Soon mine ardent desire shall pass from dream into dark reality. Whee! Here he goes. Also, the jester also disappeared. Ah, I see you have wind up Califasteri. I did not win that. I don't know if you won that one just now or if you had that minion before, but hello. Once again, I must speak to Stacia. Ah. Stuff. Ah, you got it from this raid. Congratulations. Stacia has been searching for you at Cait Sith's behest. Imagine that time has passed. A patch or so of time. Sucro, Cait Sith just sent me out to find you. You have a proper knack for showing up at just the right time, you know that? Anyway, Cait Sith cracked open that tome what we got from Radlia, and has been studying all the Nullstone's secrets. He thinks he may be onto something important, not just concerning Diabolos and the Shadow Queen, but also the cat himself. Come on back to the Perrock, and we can all hear what he has to say together. Diabolos is a summon from Final Fantasy VIII, but in this game, Diabolos is a Void Sent and not a Primal. That is correct. I'm pretty sure it's basically like the same model. Well, not the same model, it's the same design from 8. If we look at my starting soon screen over here very briefly, I have the FF8 Diabolos model on the left saying, wow, cool orb. And I think if you compare that directly to the one we just saw, they're pretty similar, but not the same model, same design though. 8 is the one where the summons like delete your memory, and the dialogue is funny because they're called GFs, and so it sounds like people are talking about their girlfriends all the time. But I don't remember 8 enough. Yeah, exactly, stuff like that. I don't remember 8 enough to know if they're evil, per se. Eight is a game I didn't personally complete, but I think I did read like a screenshot Let's Play of it. Anyway. Cait Sith has had the darkest look on his face. Thanks for coming. Now let's ask Cait Sith what this is all about. Thank the winds you're here at last. The furball refused to share until you'd arrived. Alright, Cait Sith. What's up? God, it'll be weird to get back to a part of the game that has voice acting in it. Look, as I suspected, this tome was penned by a Maki sorcerer of superior standing, as well as detail in the methods which the full power of the Nullstone, by which the full power of the Nullstone might be unleashed. Its pages also contain a number of revelations concerning my master, High Void Mage Cessair. All right. If these histories are to be trusted, then it seems Cessair herself was responsible for summoning Diabolos. Well, that's bad. But I thought you said your master was opposed to supporting the war effort. Why would she be the one to call out that bat-winged monster? Cessair only agreed to the ritual as a means to bring the conflict to an early resolution. From what I can glean from these passages, Diabolos was intended as a bluff, a threat that was never to be exercised. But those arrogant imbeciles ignored my master's carefully laid restrictions and elected to unleash the fiend upon Ampedor. It was when Cessair moved to protest this act that she was branded a traitor and imprisoned. Oh, jeez. Once they had contained the opposition, the Void Mages studied all manner of otherworldly arts at the taloned feet of their new pet. The most dangerous of which was the rite for summoning scaith and the method for chaining her power. Yet even after all they'd perpetrated, these ambitious fools had the gall to come crawling to Cessair when the coming of the great floods was predicted. They begged her to take control of the Void Ark for the salvation of the Maki people. As you saw for yourself, however, the energies of the Shadow Queen broke loose and turned the vessel into a derelict nest of void scent. It seemed obvious now that the arts taught by Diabolos were deliberately flawed. The only saving grace in all this madness was when that damnable fiend was sealed away by the White Mages of Ampedor. I shudder to think of what would have happened had he been reunited with his queen. So now, 1500 years later, Diabolos is looking to finish what he started. I thought the bat-faced bastard was just some opportunistic underling, but it turns out he's the main villain behind the whole mess. Time to kill. Damnable fiend seems redundant, maybe a little bit. Were Cessair alive today, she would accept responsibility for unleashing Diabolos upon the world. As the High Void Mage's familiar, it's my duty to act in her stead. I've deciphered the secrets of the Nullstone, and with its undiluted power shall I erase Diabolos from existence. I like your spirit, Puss, but try not to rush in too quickly, eh? Getting yourself won't do us or your master any good. Nod. Wait, no one's rushing in anywhere just yet. Or have you forgotten that we're still in the middle of scouting out the fiend's lair? We've got the compass to go by, aye, but who knows what kind of place it'll lead us to, or how many demons will be lying in wait when we get there. We fly in with our eyes open, or we risk getting slaughtered just like the Talons. Ah, yes, speaking of which, the tome made mention of a potential location for... Well... Seems like we've been found first. Ah, shit. Oh no. Leopard! He's behind you! Ah, curse you, fiend! Oh. Hello, Diabolos. I see you've found... At last! At long last! This is far from over, demon! We'll not allow an abomination like the Shadow Queen to rule this world. Then thou knowest not of ruling. It is might which decideth dominion. But believe what thou mayest, frail creature. You are playthings. Your screams of denial shall amuse me as I send this rock and all upon it to shatter upon the ground below. Diabolos has become more powerful and is no longer relying on funny doors to prank people. Just shoot him. Anytime a character decides just shoot him is good. Oh hey, there are Talons still alive. She still has her pipe too. Gods, is that Radlia? Where's she been hiding that ship? That's a good question. I would not tire my arm with the swatting of so many flies. The nullstone is mine, and yet there is yet much to be done. I'm not owned. I'm not owned. I'm not owned. Farewell, Diabolos. Kind of the egg fleet, yeah. Smirk. Well, the loss of the nullstone is on my head, and I shall see that we win it back. How are there still so many Talons? I thought they were all massacred at Mach. I ain't a healer, but I'd say you've broken your arm, a couple of ribs, and bruised half your innards. We need to get you some splints and bandages. I am a healer. And, I can't heal Leofard because he's an NPC, so never mind. Get healed. Get healed. Pepsis. I dodged the Pepsis. Pepsi Man, avoided. Consider our debt to you repaid. Would you look at that sorry excuse for a sky pirate? I knew Red Bill and his ragtag crew couldn't be trusted with saving the skies. Well, if you say so. There is still time for Diablos to shrink into a corn cob. Whatever that actually means, drill. Well, well, ain't I a lucky sod? 2 demons in one day. Found some new dogs to lick your boots, Radlia? Is that any way to welcome me back to the life? You needed allies, and persuading our reluctant fellows to join in a common purpose is a feat only a woman of my charming beauty could accomplish. And besides, you look too injured to be much use to anyone. You'd best take to your bed, old man, and let me and your champion there take care of the void scent. What, so you can tuck tail and run again at the first sign of trouble? You'd not even be standing there if it weren't for me, and even with me arm busted up, I'm still twice the pirate you are. Yeah, I kept thinking it was Diablos as well, but it's Diabolos. Nay, I think you should stay behind this time, Leofard. We must pursue Diabolos without you. Time is of the essence, and we cannot afford to wait for you to heal. We must take advantage of Captain Radlia's reinforcements and proceed with all haste. Did the demon drop you on your head, Furball? Without me there to run things, you just end up getting in Sucro's way. And no one's making haste anywhere till we know what we're flying into. Again, Captain Radlia may hold the answer to that dilemma. I suspect that the island where she uncovered the Maki tome is the very location where Diablos has chosen to lair. Makes sense. The floating marvel I speak of is not a natural occurrence. It was constructed as a haven for refugees of the floods. The tome makes very clear reference to the island's purpose and describes in detail the void-sent sorcery employed in its creation. As the Void Ark never arrived at its destination, however, the island remained uninhabited. I can imagine no more suitable hideaway for our scheming fiend. Even better, Diabolos will not expect us to suddenly arrive on his secluded doorstep. The Talon fleet will carve a path through the lesser fiends, and we shall strike swiftly into the heart of the confusion to seize the Nullstone. Once the relic is secured, I will use its power to obliterate our devilish foe. As a sky pirate, surely you can understand how such an assault relies on speed and surprise. We cannot have a wounded companion slow us down and potentially doom the entire Enterprise. No, the Enterprise is a different airship. So you think you're in charge now, do you, puss? Poor broken Leofard's just some dead weight you need to cut away. You know what? I've had a belly full of your mulin in any case. Go on, fly off without me. See how far you get with your thrice-damned Enterprise. Nod. Captain Radlia, compare the direction indicated by the ectocompass with your navigational records, if you please. I think we'll find the coordinates coincide with the island in question. Certainly, and feel free to board our flagship when you're set to depart. My darling's large enough to accommodate your adventurer and her fellows with room to spare. Possibly large enough to have a boss fight on, but how am I to say? Done scaith. Now accessible. Possibly also known as Fun Scaith, because it's a great time for everyone. Don't you worry, I'll keep an eye on the captain while everyone is off on this grand adventure. Without him, are you certain you don't need me to go with you? This adventure's all yours, Sucro. I'll be cheering for you from my sickbed like a good little pirate. Promise. This is the way it must be. Considering our need for haste and the extent of Leofard's injuries, my conclusion was merely logical. Captain Redbill's primary concern should be securing the freedom of the skies, not limping into almost certain death at the hands of the Voidsent, no matter how much he chafes at being excluded from the voyage. Kate Sith was only talking common sense. The captain took it hard, but I think he knows it too. We're doing the right thing leaving him behind, ain't we? I acquired our splendid flagship after the Ishgardians saw fit to abandon her. I hear she was an attempt to match the airborne agility of their dragon enemies, but the vessel never did live up to expectations. When she passed to me, we replaced all their improvements with structural reinforcements and made ourselves a flying fortress. Our stately lass will not soon be knocked from the sky. Alright. Done scaith. This is a raid I've only done like once or twice before, in comparison to the previous two, which I've done more times. By the way, I guess one thing I can do while we're here. Sucro's voice is not something I think about terribly often, because it's like difficult to notice it, and I just voice her myself whenever I need to, in terms of dialogue. But it's been a while since we've seen some of her emotes, I think. You want to hear Sucro's evil laugh? That's normal. This is what Sucro sounds like. Also, she can do that with her voice. Also, what am I looking for here? Woohoo! And that's Ayato's voice. I think Sucro's angry noises are the funniest ones. That one's pretty good. That doesn't have a noise. That's just ugh. But this is the funniest noise Sucro can make on purpose. I think most of the Viera emotes are very subdued, yeah. What else do we have in here? This is an emote I paid dollars for. And it made the queue pop, so worth it. Snap your fingers and the dungeon appears. Yeah, she makes sure that Ayato has an eye patch covering that specific eye on every outfit. Presumably, Ayato is missing that eye. Which means anytime there is a cutscene that makes you remove your headgear, she's suddenly got it back for dramatic effect, I guess. Anyway, I have not done this dungeon too often. I remember the first boss killing everybody immediately, and I do mean immediately. Because the first boss is like 5 feet out of the gate, but we'll get there. I expect to perish. Hey, notice how there's a boss wall, like, instantly? Insolent mortals, one does not come invited to the Shadow Queen's castle. Yeah, you just instantly fight Death Gaze. Here's a reference to Final Fantasy VI. We have to run away from this one, I think. Right, that pushes you like that. Reaping winds heed my command, strip the souls from their worthless shells. Right, then we... Someone fell off. I guess it's probably a fairly safe bet that you can follow along with how other people are doing stuff to be safe. Accidentally use Pepsi's again. Oh, someone was doomed. I forgot Doom was in there. That makes sense though, because it is Death Gaze. Something, something. There it is up ahead, the island from the tome. Hey, this music was the music I used for my apartment on my other character. These buildings are meant to house the refugees of Mach, a promised land forgotten by time. What's this? Visitors to our fair abode. Pray allow me to be the first to welcome you. Whoop, I got stuck on a wall. The void sent to claim this place just as I suspected. It's become a nest of shadows and despair. This is surprisingly good music to put into your apartment, all things considered. Oh, I am petrified. Neat. It's like oddly peaceful music. Also, my previous character's apartment did have a coffin in it, in the center, surrounded by mysterious ritual candles. So, you know, that's probably fine. Normal. Tsukuro's apartment is honestly better. It's funny to have an evil ritual chamber apartment, but also it's nice to just have a legitimately cozy apartment. Anyway, here's this guy. Herdiad, Hollow. Oh, I do love entertaining unexpected guests, and do I spy some familiar faces in the crowd? Dance with me, choose your stage. Okay. So we need to make all these blue, right? What? Because we got fire debuff, so you have to make all these blue. It looks like we've got that mostly covered. So we got that covered. Come closer, come closer. I promise I will give you a show to die for. I don't remember this fight at all. So that's fun. I did take notes on this fight, but I don't really follow what they mean at all, even looking at it. So that's something too. I mean, that's also probably the case, yeah. Pay attention or you'll miss the big reveal. The reveal is that I'm a shitty clown. Shitty clown sound. Where is the laughter, the thunderous applause? There's simply no pleasing you. But you did win the diabolic thigh boots of scouting. Good job, Tsukuro. Sometimes you just have to use one of your heals when nobody is damaged to get MP and not waste charges. Alas, we've come to the end of my show. There shall be no encore. I'm dead now. Something comes, but it is no voicent. Be ready for anything. Somebody has a Moogle book and is repeatedly drawing and sheathing it to make multiple Kupo noises. And I appreciate that. Proto Ultima. Ultima systems online. Performing systems check. Systems check complete. Initializing Armageddon sequence. So hey, this appears if anybody in the raid has taken this particular quest line. There is a bonus quest after Done Scaith that makes this appear for you. But I guess if anybody has seen it, then this is an extra boss that just gets thrown here, which is funny. And so suddenly Ultima is here. Gravitational collapse imminent. That sounds not great. We have another sage in the raid somewhere. I'm pretty sure. Reactor cells charged. Supernova ready. Ferromagnetic induction beacon active. Commencing ether transfer. Reactor cells hypercharging. "50 seconds to supernova." 40 seconds to supernova. I don't know which limit break that was, but it sure had a lot of flashy visual effects. Which makes me guess it might have been the Red Mage one. By the twitching of my whiskers, there's fell magic ahead. Only the Queen herself could radiate malice of this magnitude. The only thing I know about Red Mage Limit Break 3 is that it's very visually loud. And I actually don't know if that was it or not. Anyway, here's Skaha. Welcome, mortals, to my Citadel of Shadows. Something, something, something. My dialogue box instantaneously disappears. As many do. Have you come to deepen the gloom with an offering of souls? Creeping shade and silhouette gather unto me. I don't know what this means. Oh, it means stop moving. Right. I think. Which is unfortunate. From a chrysalis of light shall I birth the deepest shadow. There's a lot of strange creature flying around. Chimera Poppet. Your fate was sealed the moment you set foot in my domain. Accept my touch and bask in tenebrous brilliance. No, I will not. Summoner limit break 3 or a Dragoon. No, it has to be Summoner because it was an AoE. Such pervasive light it doth steal into the darkest corners and chase away my shadows. And thus the Shadow Queen doth fall. I commend your victory. Yes, your such skill and strength are deserving of a more fitting stage. Come, mortals, the true master of shadows awaiteth you. Surprise, Diabolos was actually double evil. Yeah, that was actually, like, that was some of the same AoE markers that actually, you expect the creature I was before and people by confinement? Ha, now face the fullness of my power. Some of those AoE markers were the same as the ones that Cloud of Darkness actually does in those raids, so amusingly enough, yes. Shall I thrust open the gate to the void? The night hounds slaver at the scent of your fear. I do still have my funny doors. Ho 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 ho. Also, you can interrupt most of Diabolos' stuff, I think. At least at this part of the fight. Not even in eternal sleep shall you be free from the terror of my weaving. Alright. Forget what ultimate curse means. I can't cleanse it though. The energies of the nether will be mine. I bathe in primordial darkness. Life gain. Oh, damage take is increased. You seek to wrest from me control of the portal, etc. Diablos has a lot to say very quickly, and I can't really keep up. So be it. A contest of strength, then. A contest you have no hope of winning. This fight killing people constantly as well. Impossible! I'm a lord of the void! You cannot... Hey, that's a big moon. Mine imprisonment weakened me more than I imagined. But you have not bested me yet. Witness now my true purpose for seeking the Queen's rebirth. To absorb her power for myself. Yoink. Welcome to the next phase of the battle. Yes, the glory and infinite well of shadow. You have breached Skaha's unholy vessel and released her power unto me. Shadow itself shall be mine armor. Come, strike your feeble blows in vain. Its defenses will be difficult to pierce, but mind not his boast. A persistent assault will prevail. Oh, ow. I didn't follow how that worked. I don't think that death was my fault. I think people dragged those AoEs all, like, in such a way that I got hit by some of them into other ones or something. Not that it was anyone's specific fault. I don't think that was me, though. Ow. Okay, I don't really know how to actually deal with this, so I'm just gonna run in a circle over here and hope that that's correct. It seemed to be correct. Someone wants to be here, right? Surely? Okay, ow. Must I entreat the very specter of death to be rid of you? I care not. I will wager all for your destruction. Defeated. Someone was named Majestic Gorilla, yes, I think. Joy! That went surprisingly well, all things considered. Like the whole raid series. I'm gonna commend the other healer, I think. Greed. 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 Ass. Need. 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 You say Rathalos next. Little do you know, possibly, that Rathalos actually is a boss fight in this game? But we're not there yet. That's quite a ways away. What was the thing Diabolos said when falling over? I have to find it here. But everyone's casting their lots instead. What more must I have? How great the flood of darkness to drown out your light? Flood of darkness? I think you mean cloud of darkness, and the light is the one that's the flood. Excuse you. Someone's doing a fancy dance. I think I won nothing. I got this. I have these. I won no prizes. I think I did get Diabolic Coat of Healing, but that's about it. Please note that this coat is the one, or has the same model as the one that the secretly evil sage guy had in the Sage questline, except his was dyed. Because there's a different one later that you can dye, I guess. Three commendations. I'll take it. I think I did pretty okay. I didn't have the best DPS uptime, but I kept people alive fairly well. Do not relax your guard yet, Sucro. The air is still heavy with his foul presence. Bat. Pick up the scepter. Already taken care of the fiend, have you? And you didn't even need that dusty old relic to do it. No, do not touch that. Be careful, Captain. Diabolos lurks in the shadows. Hello, I am here from the shadows. Eat shit. It takes a lot to kill this trick. Sucro just anime slid backwards. Kate Sith is now a smoldering pile of smoke. Yeah, this is a little bit Lavos music. Finally, I've claimed the Shadow Queen's power for my own, yet still I'm harried by you noisome weevils. I need a bigger orb. I must needs quit this realm for a time, and when I've grown accustomed to my newfound might, there shall be a reckoning for your insolence. Sucro mad face. Cait Sith dead. This ain't the time for napping, furball. You still got a job to do. Of course he's here. Do you think he wouldn't be? What? Did you just, like, drive the ship directly into him? I think you did. Gun! Just shoot him. No, not him. Don't shoot him. Throw. Good throw. Imagine if that had just hit Cait Sith on the head and knocked him out. And there was like a dramatic pause. Aye, my work here is unfinished. In Cesar's name I unmake thee, Diabolos. My master's will be done. Anime laser beam. Do you know this game is very anime? I'm not sure if you knew that. Ah, for 15 centuries have I yearned for this power. Thou canst not unmake me. Canst not? Hey, that's a double negative. Eat shit. Maybe. No, no! If you just hover on this text box forever, Diablos is just gonna get lasered for eternity, I guess. Man, this sucks. Oh, jeez, it's still happening. Oh, come on. God damn it. This sucks. Stop killing me. Etc. Ah. I feel like anime is a quality that something can have regardless of origin. But yeah, that was a pretty anime laser. Anime is just an adjective to me now. I'm not 100% certain if I will never do Bazja and Eureka. I do think Diabolos shows up again in one of those. I think I knew that already. Hey, I'm a healer. I could help. I could cast heal. I should have known we were wasting our breath. The captain only heeds the siren in his heart, and damn the consequences. I told you you'd be lost without me, didn't I? Hornstein and Smo? If only they were also in this game. And look at you, Puss, getting knocked out cold in your moment of glory. You weren't like to get another chance to honor your master's memory, and you almost missed it. But I suppose you pulled through at the last. I'll give you that much. Grin. Sucro's just like, oh, you. You mentioned Ornstein and Smo. I guess that place did look a little Anne Orlando-y at the end. Just a little bit. Not really, but a little. How vexing to be once again rescued by Red Bill. He'd better recover from those injuries so we can go back to hating each other on an equal footing. The plan was a resounding success, though it did require some intervention on Leoford's part. I'm afraid I misjudged his commitment to our cause. Well, I think he'll live, which is surprising considering he crashed his ship into a bloody demon. Damn fool. Spare me your concern and your lectures. You knew I wasn't like to stay abed with such a grand adventure in the making, and I'd rather break every bone in me body than be stripped of the freedom to go where I please. Besides, all's well that ends well, eh? Diabolos is dead and we're all alive. That counts as a victory in my book. It's just a pity that it cost me the Remil in the doing of it. Hope she rests easy on that island refuge. Sucro got some musical scrolls. Hooray! Huzzah! And here's why I wanted to do this. Like, other than the part where it's cool gameplay, I also just wanted this scarf, which you can't see using this particular coat. But we'll deal with that later. This coat does not show the necklace. Your hand is going through your shoulder. Ah, me goggles are a mess, but I suppose it can always get me a new pair of goggles and a new airship. Suppose we should be glad that we didn't lose aught else after diving headlong into a void-sent nest. Now that we've taken the skies back, it's time we were taking our leave. The Talons and the Red Bills can kiss this brief alliance farewell, unless, of course, you're interested in a more permanent arrangement. Your bootlickers might think your voice is siren song, but it grates on my ears like a harpy's screech. Nah, this is the first and last time we fly together. We're back to being rivals, the way it's always been. You are a very stubborn man, Red Bill, but you do well to remember, I always get what I want in the end. Cait Sith is also singed, still. Well, what are you gonna do, Cait Sith? Head back to me quarters and see that this furball's hurts. I'll be along in a bit. I feel so foolish, Sucro. I demanded that Leofard remain behind only to have him rescue my mission from certain failure. A failure that would have made mock at your heroic efforts as well. Shake head. You are too kind. Ah, what words exist that can properly express my contrition? I know not how to even begin making my apologies. I should like to approach the captain, but he has an air of the man who seeks solitude. 'Tis strange to see him so melancholy. Could it be the loss of the Remil which troubles him so? Nay, I shan't intrude upon his contemplation with clumsy questions and trite platitudes. Let us leave him be for the moment. Cait Sith noises. I'm gonna talk to him. Go on ahead without me. I won't be long. I'm gonna talk to you. Step up the pace, you sluggards. Let's leave this rock behind and get to celebrating the return of the Talons. This whole time, when they've been mentioning the Talons, I've been thinking about Final Fantasy Legend 3 on the Game Boy, also known as Saga 3, which I barely played. Like, I played, like, effectively 5 minutes of that game. I played a lot more of Legend 2. But I do happen to know that the airship in Legend 3 is called the Talon, and also that for at least for the longest time, if not to this day, there was an upload of the theme of that airship on YouTube that was just labeled the motherfucking Talon theme. And hey, yeah, that's the system for this game. You gotta roll and get lucky for that roll. But also, like, all of those rewards are weaker than what I have in terms of equipment. And for the minion and such, there will be plenty of other times when I run through that dungeon, or raid rather. I'll probably get stuff, and you do get like some currencies, and really in this case it was mostly the experience and the story that we were after. I heard the Remil was an unsalvageable wreck. She was a fine vessel, built to endure the captain's reckless flying style, and it seems she kept him safe until her very end. Such a shame. It looks like we might either have a short stream or I'll have to find something else to do in a second, because we are at the tail end of the storyline here. On the next Final Fantasy XIV stream, I intend to start the Scholastica questline, which is a side questline, which I think is Hildebrand adjacent. And I have never seen any of it before. So that'll be a completely new thing to me, which is not something we've really had yet in the playthrough. I'm not so sure about starting it because the Friday stream is going to have to be Splatoon instead of this, so it'll be in... If I started it now, we'd only be resuming it on Monday, but then again, that's just how anything would go. Palace of the Dead is not that short, but we could try maybe. I'll think about it. I should actually finish the storyline first. And by that, I mean jump on the bed. Like a little gremlin. This doesn't count as like actual bed, right? Like if I were to... Nope. Have I shown the last floors of Palace of the Dead on stream before? I mean, I know I've shown 1 through 50, but I don't know if I've shown like 100. And I obviously haven't shown 100 to 200 because I've never managed to complete those and they're completely optional for all purposes. Anyway. The captain's not his usual bombastic self. Mayhap Stacia can enlighten us as to the source of this uncharacteristic malaise. Yeah, I don't think I've shown 100, so we could probably do that. That would also show Scholar off somewhere, which is, we haven't seen Scholar for a while, and that's what I had in the save file. Scholar might be one of my favorite classes, actually. Jobs. Mistress Stacia, if I might ask you a question, do you know the cause of the captain's melancholy? Is it because of the Remil? Pray tell me if it is so. I cannot help but feel responsible for the vessel's destruction, and I had better understand Leofard's present distress. If you really want to understand, I suppose I should start with how the captain was orphaned as a child. As matters turned out, he was taken in by a highborn widow who raised him as her son. From what Leofard has told me, his adoptive mother was a kind, quiet-spoken woman. But due to some illness or other, she was rarely able to venture outside. Instead, she spent hours reading to her boy from a library, well stocked with books from faraway lands. Leofard cared for her as her malady grew worse by the day, and he was there by her side when death finally carried her away to Thal's halls. While she was alive, she never did ask much of him. Not long before she passed on, however, she wrung from him one single promise, that he escape the conformity she'd always endured and live his life as free as a bird. As you've likely guessed, her name was Remil. That's her portrait hanging on the wall. Ah, this explains much. I had wondered as to the origin of his vessel's naming. The Sky Pirate Way is the life Leofard chose for himself, but I'd like to think he named his ship the Remil so that his mother would be there to watch over all of his adventures. Since when were you so loose-lipped about a comrade's private past, Stacia? We had to have the tragic backstory in there somewhere, man. Jeez. I ain't in the habit of leaning on people's sympathies, so you can all keep that tidbit to yourselves, eh? And I thought I told you to see to the furball's wounds. Look at your cape, puss, it's in tatters. Come here for a moment. Skitter. A scarf? For me? Aye, that's a little present we give to every new Red Bill. Remil taught me that it's not protecting memories that's important. It's having the strength to follow your path and make those memories in the first place. Seeing how determined you were to clean your master's slate, I'd say you fit right in with our crew. Listen, if you're thinking that little airship meant a lot to me, then you'd be right. But I'd rather mourn a hunk of metal than lose them as can share in me highs and lows. So let's get this straight, puss. There's no need for apologies. The Sky Pirate makes his choice and he sticks by it. Yeah, Leofard's good. The life of a Sky Pirate, I seem to be bereft of both place and purpose now. I suppose I shall accept your offer. I'm yours to command, Captain. Glad to hear it. Your first duty is to join us in giving our adventurer here a proper send-off. What's about bloody time you two saw eye to eye? But honestly, Captain, you don't mean to head out in those rags, do you? Let's get you cleaned up as well before we say our fond farewells. Still can't believe the steampunk portrait frame. And so they did. Did you see? Kate Sith is wearing a Red Bill scarf. Isn't that just wonderful? For 15 centuries did I wander in the dark alone. To be so surrounded by companions and given a new hearth to call home fills me with a warmth I'd almost forgotten was possible. Yay! We've a spare airship the captain can use for now until he feels ready to build a new one. It's time we parted ways, Sucro. Let's give you an escort down to Coldwind. Do you ever get a Kate Sith minion? I thought there was one. That was some adventure, Sucro, but our journey into the unknown is over. For the now. Gasp. When the skies spit out some new mystery, you can bet that I'm coming to find you. After all, there ain't nobody else who handles the unexpected quite like you do. High adventure and the heady rush of danger. Surely in this life there's no greater reward. Grin. Shrug. Final Fantasy main theme also. Cheering. You can get one, but only for pre-ordering A Realm Reborn. Huh. Yeah, there's also that Ayato person. She was around. Don't you worry, they said the same thing to her in her universe. Red Bill scarf. The mysterious wandering rabbit that just kind of existed in the background of all the coil cutscenes also. Pretty funny. Oh, you get a New Game Plus chapter for that. I wonder if you have to do the raids again if you do that New Game Plus. Probably? Anyway, before we continue onward to whatever we're doing... Ah. Someone else is here. A cat who looks ready for school. It's like the game wants me to do the Scholastica questline. What does the Retainer Squad have? Trousers. T-Brick. Also 902 gil. I'll take it. Augmented Crystarium Gloves of Scouting. What's the Crystarium? I've never heard of it. And... Radiance... Bagnax. I don't actually know how to say that, but that's a level 90 monk weapon, I guess. I'm gonna... I don't know why this would stuffed Kate Sith. Well, you can get a stuffed Kate Sith. So there's that. Anyway, Red Bill scarf though. It's probably going to be incorporated into whatever Stormblood fashion I use. But you can see it on a variety of shirts and whatnot, such as this one, probably. Sucro have scarf. Ta-da! I have not yet settled on Stormblood fashion, but I do like this scarf a lot. It's pretty good. You can see it on that. So I don't particularly like this shirt. You can see it on a number of things which are definitely not my style. Can you see it on the... You can see it on there. Anyway, you get the idea. It's very difficult to find fashion items in this game that are my style at this point. I have very specific things that I want out of fashion in video games. I don't know why I'm going into my apartment. But I found an excuse. We can listen to the, Yeah, this is what I used as, music for my apartment on the other character I had, I think. There's also this. But no, I'm gonna keep the Matoya music. Going into detail about what I need out of video game fashion would take a while and get into personal stuff. So, long and short of it is, as little visible skin as possible is typically my preference, which you might be able to tell through the winter coat. Anyways. That was mostly the short and the short of it, I guess. All that being said, I would say... Where were we in the Palace of the Dead? I got a free company invite. Oh no. Whomstediv. Oh, it's the Order of the Echo again. They've tried to recruit me at least 5 times. Scholar. 81 to 90. Okay, so we would have 2 sets to go then. I can probably do that. We can give it a shot. The game's not letting me target you for some reason. Hold on. Oh, it's because I had my weapon out. Now Ayato has a funny scythe. But I will again be right back before we do this. Okay, hello. Welcome to video game. Well, once I switch this over. Now, one thing I could do, I suppose, is turn cutscenes back on. So we would have missed at least some in the Palace of the Dead. I kind of forget how to do that. Like, I have it set to automatically skip cutscenes I've already seen. It might not be the most important thing to do anyway. But also, I think there's actual strategy involved in these last two boss fights. So, I should, like, double check that, probably. I have to find it. Okay. So... with the boss of these next floors, when there is a blue bomb, you have to hit it into the boss with your skills. Otherwise, we die horribly. And that's about it for that one.
Oh my god!
So welcome to the Palace of the Dead. If you need a quick explanation of how this functions, you can think of it as kind of a roguelike. This is floor 81. And we immediately get a free one of these. There's a map in the corner. This is sort of like a randomly generated deal a little bit. Ayato is currently a Reaper, and I am currently a Scholar, so we've got a DPS and a healer. It works pretty well as a combination so far. It is possible to complete this solo. Typically, I think they expect you to do it with 4 people, but it is also possible to solo it. I'll have to get used to being a Scholar again. I mean, might as well use a portion if there's one in there. I might try to solo this eventually because I do like the deep dungeons in this game a lot. There's currently 2 of them, and there's going to be a 3rd one soon. Which I am nowhere near, and I'm also nowhere near the 2nd one, really. Not really. I'm glad that I'm not allowed to use rescue outside of combat, or else I could try to do funny pranks like pulling you into mines. Hooray! Now let's leave. I mean, we could also try and get other treasure, but we kind of have a full inventory mostly. Another thing the Palace of the Dead does is for a good deal of it, it plays random music from the game from a set selection of stuff. Also, sometimes floors are cursed and have stuff like damage dealt decreased. Commander Flight, might as well use that. Also, you have this unique inventory with like a little 16-bit sprite of your character class, and you have a unique system for powering up the ether pool arm and armor that you can get upgrades to in silver chests. You start at level 1 if you start at floor 1, and then you have a very quick level up sort of system throughout it. So yeah, it's very roguelike in nature, I guess. Also, sometimes there's traps on the floor that do stuff like turn you into a frog. Now I am a frog. Thankfully, the fairy still functions normally when I'm a frog. So that's neat. One Palace of the Dead tip is that there are less traps on the edges of rooms, typically speaking, and there are also none in hallways. Should probably use Ether Flow to have those ready. Yeah, there's definitely a Dark Souls sort of vibe to this set of floors specifically. Like, aesthetically speaking, the floors don't all look like this, but this set of floors does, and yeah. Oh, I can fix that problem. Having a healer in a multi-person Palace of the Dead party is pretty good, as you might expect. I guess I'm admitting that I'm pretty helpful by saying that, but you know. It'd be funny if the game had an option to commend a Scholar's Fairy instead of the Scholar. Green torches. Only the most normal color for a torch to be. Oh yeah, the other part of the upcoming boss is to, in addition to hitting the blue bombs into the boss, oh hey, how about that? You also need to kill all of the other ads that pop up and are targetable. Another feature of the Palace of the Dead is the Accursed Horde, which is, shows up randomly. Well, it's hidden in certain spots on certain floors randomly. And the Pomander of Intuition helps you find it. We could just continue, I guess. Though there's a lot of this floor that's unexplored. The Accursed Horde gives you plenty of treasure box. Uh-oh, this is bad news. Actually, this is fine because we have ways to deal with this. So, you got hit with the Accursed Pox. You are going to want to use one of the Pomanders of Purity we have. Because otherwise that shit sucks to have. There you go. That is a feature of the Palace of the Dead as well, is mimics, which prank you by giving you a 10-minute status that makes you suck and makes everything suck for you. Well, they don't really... I think they decrease your damage a little bit, but also it's just like a 10-minute DOT. Yeah, we got the Horde. You can't see it, but Aya just said, oh, we got the Horde. That's fair. It is fair to not notice everything happening all the time. I'm surprised we haven't stepped on a landmine yet, actually. That's another feature of the Palace of the Dead, is stepping on landmines and exploding violently. Music from a dungeon I have not done yet, I think. Ah, we cannot use items on this floor. Very well. This is, I forget which dungeon this music is from. It's either an optional dungeon or a mandatory dungeon I haven't reached. I think it's the mandatory dungeon I haven't reached. I do have Never Reap technically unlocked. Or at least I'm about to, but I have not done it. It might be that one. It might also just not be that one. We're getting a lot of cursed floors in a row. This one seems okay though. Didn't hear the sound of sadness. Okay, we have a buff on this one actually, but also the gloom. Never mind, this floor is middling. It's maybe okay. Might as well use that. Yeah, we have intuition again. I guess we could go ahead and use that, probably. Ah, the horde is on this floor. Time to turn around. There we go. Oh, there's a silver over there. Well, you could probably say that this is kind of samey and also has tougher palette swaps of stuff, but it's more like it's different than samey because it's not the same as the rest of the game. Might as well use a safety. Safety first, as they say. Depending on what you're looking for out of this game, you could probably level the same criticisms of this content, but I like it, personally. There are some cutscenes and some story beats, which the game will skip automatically because I've seen them before. But we will get to see at least the Tactics Ogre guy show up. We won't hear what he has to say, really, but we'll see him. I think the director of this game, Yoshi P, or Naoki Yoshida, is on record as saying that Tactics Ogre is one of his favorite games. Oh, well, there's an exploding chest. Not a landmine, but still an explosion. I mean, I guess we might as well use a raising if there's an extra. I don't quite remember what his design is like in this game. It's probably pretty faithful to one of his Tactics Ogre appearances. But we'll get there. I should have you focus targeted so I can keep an eye on your HP and stuff easier. Sure. I think at this point, it's probably pretty safe to just try and get through floors quickly, because we have a full inventory of stuff. The way it works is once you've killed a certain number of enemies, the way forward opens. For those not in the know. So you don't have to explore a floor entirely. You technically just have to kill enough enemies and then find the exit, which is marked on the map as a key. And also it tells you when you've killed enough enemies like that. The main reason to explore more thoroughly at this point would be in case we wanted to find more upgrades. But we're probably doing okay on that front as well, just like picking up what we pass by. Like, hey, there's another one. And another one. And an explosion. About time we found one of those. That's going backwards over there. One gimmick of dragon-type enemies is they can spit an AoE at your position even when they're not aggroed yet. Which is fairly rude of them. At least that's the case of them in Palace of the Dead. Oh, there's a silver in the room we started in. Good night. Thanks for stopping by. I think there's a bunch of dragons being reared at the same time. And now the boss. So yeah, we have to kill orange bombs when they appear and push the blue bomb into the boss when it appears. All attacks will push back the blue bomb. Not super complicated, but a little bit more complicated than a lot of the bosses have been. Confusingly, the orange ones are called Gray Bomb. Yeah, this is a different variation of the Mom Bomb, which is also in like a regular dungeon somewhere. This fight works differently, but the boss has the same model and is named the Godmother. But yeah, the Mom Bomb was from 4. So yeah, this is the one you push into the boss. Yeah, there you go. I think that's good enough. Yeah, that stuns the Godmother out of the big nasty attack. There we go. That's that one. And now, the final, I guess, story floors of it, technically? This is where Tactics Ogre happens. Not quite yet, but it's getting there. You did miss the orb. You did miss the 2 raid series, but we are doing the last bit of Palace of the Dead because we had a save file there, since we had extra time. Mimics get kind of difficult to kill past a certain point. Feel free to use another purity to get rid of that pox. I think you can probably interrupt this. But I don't have the tools to do that as a healer, I think. Yeah, if the Mimic is able to use Infatuation, that means somebody has been poxed. I'm not sure if you can interrupt that with the gold Mimics this late, but you might be able to, like, you might have to silence instead of stunning, and I don't think we have access to that. I think that's ranged physical DPS only. Or something. Pretty sure we can't, we might not be able to stop those Mimics. That was the wrong one. I used the wrong Pomander, but it's fine. Probably see what's in here. Just strength. If that treasure chest had exploded, that would have been kind of bad, but also very funny. I might have been able to save us anyway. Hindsight is 20/20, as they say. No worries, though. Hanging ogre battle, guys. Oh yeah, I guess kinda. Is that an ogre battle guy, or is that just a guy? Oh yeah, they do have the armor. I think that's a set of armor you too can have in this video game. Oh yeah, that's a better way to get a view of them. I think that armor is from Tactics Zone? Maybe? Oh hey, we got back the one I accidentally used. Yeah, kinda like the Terror Knight. I don't think that's exactly the Terror Knight. I think you can actually just get something that's more exactly the Terror Knight. Or Terror Knight. Tarot Knight is something very different. I guess that's kind of what the Astrologian class is. Not really, though. Note to self, Tarot Knight. Game didn't want me targeting that enemy. The game might let us continue past 100 since we are a fixed party, if you ever wanted to try that, but probably floor 100 is good enough for now, I would say. Oh right, I should look at the strategy for this boss. This boss may or may not require strategy. Basically, an important thing to know about this boss fight is that the Pomander of Resolution has an attack that will prevent corpses from being revived. Other than that, just punch the boss in the face a lot, basically. Serenity is... we don't need to get another one. That's specifically for dispelling stuff, so it would do nothing to use it right now. I mean, it's kind of casting a specific spell on downed undead, actually. I didn't realize that was a thing from Tactics Ogre, so it's funny that you also do that here. I think you either like finish them off with a specific attack, or you cast it on the bodies once they are dead. In this case, it's one of the Pomanders transforms you into like an angel type creature. And one of the attacks is called Heavenly Judge, and that will also erase the bodies. So it's kind of like the exercise spell, but not exactly. Also, it does damage like to everything while doing that, so it's more convenient. Yeah, I guess I probably didn't show this on stream and just did this on my own time at some point. Or maybe died to the boss on stream or something, I don't remember. Oh no, not the wiki walk. That's a dangerous path to tread. Mine. 2. Oh, really? That makes sense, I guess. Because, like, the Necromancer in Guild Wars is the one that's interacting with corpses, usually. Uh-oh. Well, time to sit here and do nothing. Probably. That would be interesting, considering that in Guild Wars, like, the enemy can be necromancers. It would make sense if the monks had, like, some sort of... Does somebody have some way of preventing that? Because that sounds like a mechanic that exists, but I don't remember. I'm not super familiar with Guild Wars 1. I know a bit about it. I think I've played a little bit of Guild Wars 1 on stream before. Oh, that was the resolution. Guild Wars 1 is a neat game. Guild Wars 2, also pretty neat, actually. There was a long period of time when I thought Guild Wars 2 was Garbo, but I have since changed my opinion on it too. It's pretty alright. And I still have Guild Wars 2 in my list of stuff to stream. Eventually, maybe. And that is because I think the way the Guild Wars 2 story is told and the way the writing of the game evolves and changes is interesting and worth discussing and observing. I probably talked about this before, but there's a number of things about it, especially like the really early game, that's actually like an interesting discussion point, even though the story early in Guild Wars 2 is not very good, I would say overall, and it does get better as well. But yeah, that's on the list of stuff to eventually maybe think about. But right now the list of stuff to stream is this game and Splatoon when there's events. Spore was on the list, but I'm not sure if I care enough about Spore to make it run well. It's a game from 2008 and you have to like go into configuration files to make it like understand a higher resolution than small. And also when I messed with the in-game options too much, the window just froze and became unclosable without the task manager. Spore is... If I were to stream Spore, it would not be a full playthrough. It would be like 1 or 2 streams to show it off and make a funny creature and make funny stuff. And like I am not streaming Spore because it is good. I would be streaming Spore because it is interesting to look back on. So don't worry if you think, I mean, it would be valid to defend and like Spore, I think. But like, don't, what I'm trying to say is don't think I would be streaming Spore because it's like a game that I really like. That would not be the reason for showing it. There are plenty of people who really like Spore. And there's a lot of interesting points about Spore. But if I were to stream it, it would be just I think it would be interesting to look back on this game many years later and see what it's like now. More than I really liked this game and I would like to play it again. So yeah. The funniest thing about Spore to me personally is that I used its creature creator to make enemies for an RPG that I made, because it had a built-in transparent background feature as well. So I just like cropped them out of there and like put them in RPG Maker. And I think that's pretty funny. I didn't realize one of the expansions to Spore was like a level making thing. I didn't know that. Uh-oh, auto heal disabled is kind of mean. But I'm a healer, we can manage. Oh hey, these knights are using the same armor of the ones that were hanging from the ceiling. I did actually purchase the Spore expansion packs, by the way. They were on like super sale for $5 each. I didn't realize the game would suck to try and run though. I guess another thing on my list of stuff to theoretically stream is Fire Emblem Fates, but that would take a lot of time investment. And also Fire Emblem Engage is about to release, and I'm not sure if I want to do anything with that. I could stream Fire Emblem Engage maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud a lot. The Palace of the Dead lends itself well to doing that. According to the interest check poll I did, not as many people are interested in seeing me cover Engage as they are interested in seeing me cover Fates. Possibly because I labeled Fates as a bad Fire Emblem, and people are like, I like to see people... I would like to see Robin complain about a Fire Emblem game. Though, honestly, I really like complaining about the story in Fates, so I think I secretly like that game. And I think Engage is going to be like Fates 2. It gives me extreme Fire Emblem Fates vibes. Which makes me want to cover it, maybe, because I think my reactions to it could be funny. Or I could have interesting things to say about the story or whatever, I don't know. Oh, there was a silver in there. Like another, oh wait. No, that was in there. I misunderstood what I was looking at. I guess the other thing about Fire Emblem Engage is if I start recording it or whatever, I'm committing to recording like a 40-hour game, and I haven't finished recording Mario and Rabbids because I just haven't felt like playing it, even though I'm at like the end. So if I commit to like recording Engage as capital C content, then I might have another thing I just don't finish. I'll probably finish Mario and Rabbids eventually. Hooray. You just teleported directly onto a toad trap by pure happenstance. That's pretty silly. And that's how long it takes one scholar to kill things on their own when the DPS is a frog, I guess. Oh, does it? That is not something I knew about it. I don't know if that's directly a Harry Potter reference on purpose to call something a Death Eater. That feels like a combination of names you could arrive at. Like, serving a sorcerer who must not be named down. That makes it more directly, most likely, a reference. I assume that was probably added in localization, if I had to guess. So, I mean, there's no reason it couldn't have referenced that in the original Japanese, but that's kind of silly. Nothing like that in this version of the Palace of the Dead, as far as I'm aware. Now, there is a silver over there, but I don't think I care enough right now. Too many other enemies in the room. Hey, here we are. Welcome to Fog of Phantom Zone. Now we're in the Tactics Ogre music portion. You can get orchestrion rolls for all of the Tactics Ogre songs and play them in your house. All of the ones that are used in Palace of the Dead anyway. Which is like Fog of Phantom, Blasphemous Experiment. I think there's one other one that is available. My main experience with Ogre Battle is Ogre Battle 64, which is also something I would really like to cover in streamer recording eventually, because I'm really curious how well that game held up. I imagine it will be fun. I just really don't remember how well like the writing and the story holds up. Because I remember Ogre Battle 64 having a story in the same sort of like category of Final Fantasy Tactics, the original one. There's like a lot of political intrigue going on, I think. I'm just curious how well it all comes together in terms of the story. The list of things I really want to stream or possibly record is too many. There's too many of them. I think we can just sneak by these enemies, so nope, not all of them. Oh, also, for the record, the way they have presented the Necromancer's name in this is Nybeth Obdilord. So they went with that translation, which I suppose is probably the modern one. I think I'm getting hit by that. No? Okay. I won't question. There's a lot of enemies crammed into this floor. Okay, probably like one more. Looks like we might have to fight 2 more or 3 more anyway. Okay. Fair. Alright. Time for the boss. I would say probably use our strength and steel just in case. That's him. He has like a Tactics Ogre casting animation and stuff too. Yeah, he's got like the Ogre Battle Darkness Sigil. I'm glad my fairy continues to do work while I'm transformed. That makes this a lot more convenient. I'll go ahead and use this just to show it. Although I might want to actually just heal. And then use this again. This is the primary use of this item, so it's fine to use multiple. It does a little bit of damage to the boss as well. And there we go. I'm elf right now. Yeah, I have already seen that cutscene, I guess. I'm just glad to have been able to help you complete this dungeon. Apparently this happens if you try to cast on somebody who's in a cutscene. There we go. That was very silly. Hey, yeah, red scythe, neat. I don't have the ability to celebrate victory yet. I'm just gonna read my book of red. But heck yeah! Technically, in the future, we can continue onwards past floor 100. I think. Because this was a fixed party and not a random party. I don't know how long we'd survive, because it does get difficult. Maybe not, because we're getting a little scoreboard thing. A new high score! And we get rewards and stuff. What's in the bag? Food. And replica heavy Allegan armor. Okay, sure. Oh, I have 4 of these? Hold on, can I do anything with that? I already have Blasphemous Experiment. I would need 10 for the Disembodied Head Resonator. You know, as you do. I could get this minion, I guess. So yeah, that was the final 2 sets of floors of Palace of the Dead. And also, that was the final 2 raids of the Shadows of Mach series. That means on the next Final Fantasy XIV stream, it will be time for the Scholasticate questline, which, again, I have not seen any of. And hey, actually someone there had the Kate Sith minion that I just saw after teleporting. The Scholasticate questline, I don't really know anything about it. Other than you get an Adjust Glasses emote. And a specific fashion item. Also, 2 of them, actually. But yeah, Friday's stream, probably Splatoon 3 Splatfest. Sweet versus spicy versus sour. I'm on Team Sweet. And then next Monday, Scholasticate. Sucro go to college? I guess? Sucro's probably already been to a college. I don't know. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Until next time. Good night. Sucro will also go to sleep. And feel free to support me at any of these links that you see here or below the stream. But don't feel like you need to, because your viewership is support enough. Good night, everybody.